After you have watched this video, you will have learned how to communicate better during live meeting by improving your intonation. Hey guys, welcome to Fluent For Real. I'm Renata, and if you want to unlock your professional dreams, you are in the right place. Here, we help you go from intermediate English to advanced and use English as your tool to grow professionally. Every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Brazil time, MC, my partner, and I, we host a live streaming, and this week we had a little bit of a problem. I'm still unsure if the problem was with the connection or with Instagram itself, because it was super weird. But anyway, so I decided to shoot this video with the same content. This topic was requested by one of our followers, so if you have requests or suggestions, leave it in the comments. During quarantine time, a lot of us have been working from home, and working from home has its perks, its privileges, but it also has its hardships, the struggles. One of them is the need to go online and talk to clients, talk to your boss, talk to coworkers through the internet, through video calls, through virtual meetings. And a lot of people find it difficult to understand the other person on the other side. One of the reasons why it is hard, it's because one, even if you do see the other person, if it's a video call, there may be a delay, and then you can't really see, the lips don't really match what they're saying, so you can't really read the person's lips to help understand what they're saying. Also, if it's not a video call, a lot of times you're at home and then you have kids going on, you have a dog walking by, or you're in your PJs and you just don't want to turn on your camera, so you just have the meeting through audio. That's even harder because you can't see the other person, you can't read lips. It's like speaking on the phone. It's really that much harder than speaking face to face. So that physical absence brings a lot of issues, and we decided to tackle one of them here in this video, which is intonation. A lot of times the incorrect intonation can be an obstacle and can pollute your communication.
Justin.
Intonation is like a melody. It's the melody of the language. You know when you hear someone speaking Italian, da 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 da, and you don't know how to speak Italian, but you recognize it, and someone is speaking Spanish, and you're like da 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 da. But anyway, that is my stereotypical way of describing the melody of the language. So the sounds are very typical, and also the rhythm of the sentence is typical. But we don't really identify that intonation at first. We really need to listen and refine our ears to be able to realize that difference and that tone and that going up or going down of each sentence, of each statement or question. Now, even though there is a melody that is expected from you when you're speaking that language, there is also the power of body language, the power of emphasis. And did you know that most of the communication that we make is in body language and intonation in how we say it? When I say the sentence, I never wanted him to buy that car. That's the neutral way to say it. But if I want to emphasize something and go beyond the sentence, say a little more than just those words. I never wanted him to buy that car. Maybe I wanted to do it myself. I never wanted him to buy that car. Maybe that car sucks. Maybe I wanted another one. I never wanted him to buy that car. Maybe I just wanted him to borrow it or rent it. I never wanted him to buy that car. It wasn't me who said that. I never wanted that. Maybe someone else did. I think someone else said that, but not me. For that reason, we need to keep an eye on how we are pronouncing each word and how the sentence comes out, because we may be emphasizing something that we don't mean to be. Pronunciation versus intonation. Well, I see those two elements as the ingredients of a recipe and the instructions on which sequence the ingredients should be placed in. If I forget an ingredient, which for me are, the words of the sentence are the ingredients of the recipe. If I forget one, which means if I mispronounce one word, I will mess up the whole recipe. I will mess up my intonation. Let me give you an example. The word elevator. It's not elevator. Elevator. It's elevator. So if I say, I will take the elevator, I will take the elevator, that's wrong. Because the word elevator is being pronounced incorrectly, and that is affecting the intonation, which should not be going up, but should be going down. This is the correct way to say it. I will take the elevator. I will take the elevator. So when I pronounce it correctly, my chances of getting the intonation correctly also get higher. Another word that complicates our intonation a lot is the word can. The verb can is very much overpronounced. In the affirmative form, we are supposed to pronounce it very shortly, emphasizing the subject more than the verb. Instead of saying, I can, she can, they can, we say, I can, she can, they can go, she can go, we can go. So the subject can be emphasized and the verb can even be emphasized. In the negative, on the other hand, we do emphasize it more. We can't go. She can't come. You can't buy that. We can go. We can't go. She can travel. She can't travel. So in the sentence, she can take the elevator, incorrectly pronounced. She can take the elevator. 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 I mentioned the importance of word-by-word pronunciation. I also mentioned can as a tricky word that we need to pay attention to. And now I'm going to talk about something else, which is tag questions. Those little questions we place at the end of the sentence to confirm an opinion or a statement that we are making. For example, I can take the elevator, can't I? It's very common to see the incorrect pronunciation. Tag questions are supposed to go down. Can't you? Won't you? Isn't she? Aren't you? Not up. Aren't you? Isn't she? Don't you? Won't we? No. In Portuguese, we have né for that confirmation. So it's common to say, "Você vai, né? Você foi, né?" It's very up there. It's a rising intonation in Portuguese. You guys, a little side note, I'm editing the video and I realized I forgot to say something and it may sound like I said something that I didn't mean to. Okay, so tag questions have, yes, they do have the falling intonation as I mentioned, but they also have the rising intonation. But the thing is, when we Brazilians try to do the rising intonation, we are probably, or maybe, we will mess it up and we're gonna go, instead of going the right way, she's here, isn't she? We're gonna go, she's here, isn't she? And exaggerate that high note very awkwardly, very much like our né, as I mentioned too. So let's practice a little bit. I want to practice with the sentence I've been working with, and then you guys are going to repeat after me. I can take the elevator, can't I? She will travel, won't she? She's working, isn't she? They've arrived, haven't they? She'd go, wouldn't she? WH questions. WH questions in English have what we call a falling intonation. When I ask where, what, who, how long, why, when, I am going to emphasize the WH itself, what, who, etc. But I am going to end the question dying a little. For example,
Well, one celebrity would you not stop the car for?
Dominic Cooper, he can walk.
If you were in a boy band, what would the band's name be?
Insatiable, because you just can't get enough.
now let's practice. Repeat after me then. How long have you been here? Where did you come from? Who are you thinking of? How can I help you? So just for the sake of illustrating, I want to show you guys how those sentences would sound like if we got our intonation in Brazil and we put those sentences with our intonation. Let's see if you guys recognize it, if you do it like this, or if you can identify the Brazilian intonation. Where did you go? Where did you go? Where did you go? How can I help you? Where is she working? Where's she working? What time is the movie? How are you? How are you? Where are you? Where's she? Where's she? Where is she? How are you? And so on. Yes or no questions. Yes or no questions are the opposite. They have a rising intonation in English. We finish the question going up, like so.
You got to be excited. Do you like going to the award shows and doing all that stuff?
You know what? I really do.
You got to be excited. Do you like going to the award shows and doing all that stuff?
You know what? I really do.
Are you working? Will you come? Have you seen it? Is she here? Now let's practice a little bit. Repeat after me. Would you do it? Is John here? Has Mary arrived? For the sake of illustration, let's see what it's not supposed to be like. Are you working? Is she here? Are you hungry?
If you were in a boy band, what would the band's name be?
Insatiable, because you just can't get enough.
Who would be in Insatiable?
Me and the 4 remaining members of O-Town.
Can we do a little karaoke right now?
Sure.
If you were in a boy band, what would the band's name be?
Insatiable, because you just can't get enough.
Who would be in Insatiable?
Me and the 4 remaining members of O-Town.
Can we do a little karaoke right now?
Sure.
Anyway, carrying on. One thing that messes up our intonation is also a detail, but super important, which is object pronoun. What is an object pronoun? Speak my language. An object is anything that comes after a verb. Let me tell you what I mean. John kissed Mary. Mary is the object of that action. She received the kiss. John kissed Mary. An object pronoun is when we substitute Mary, for example, for her. John kissed her. John kissed Mary. John kissed her. But the difference in the intonation is when I use Mary, I emphasize Mary. I say John kissed Mary. John kissed Mary. John kissed Mary. But when I say her, I cannot emphasize her. I emphasize kissed. John kissed her. John kissed her. Check out the difference. John kissed Mary. John kissed her. See? Let's practice that a little bit. Talk to him. Call him. Invite them. I am going to invite them. Calling him was hard. After I talk to him, I'll email you. So to recap, we talked about tag questions, can, object pronouns, WH questions, and yes or no questions. Thinking of pronunciation as the isolated word and intonation as combination of words in a sentence, I feel that both of them are super connected, as I mentioned before. And if you work on your intonation, you really will be able to be better understood because you are working on the same melody as everyone else. Think about that next time you have a meeting through Skype or Zoom or Google Hangouts, and be ready for that moment. How can I prepare myself? Well, the best way to practice intonation is to copy. Copy the best. I am going to leave a link here in the description box with a playlist on Vogue YouTube channel. A short interview, usually 6 to 9 minutes. There are a lot of types of people being interviewed and it's 73 questions, one after the other. That's a good way for you to listen to WH intonation, yes or no question intonation, and also the statements. You will be able to hear the object pronoun, as I said, and other things, maybe a tag question here or there. But the real exercise I want you guys to do is you're gonna grab one of your favorite books or an article on the internet, something you like to read about. You're gonna sit down, read that article out loud, film yourself. You're gonna watch that video and try to identify where your intonation is going down the drain, where it's not working well. Then you will go online. I suggest TED Talks because on TED's website there are not just the images but also the transcript of every single lecture, so you can hear and read at the same time. Play the video. After every sentence, you pause and you read that sentence exactly the same way that native speaker said it. Copy them word by word, letter by letter, tone by tone. Like an acting class or something like that. I know it's gonna sound a little strange, it's gonna feel a little weird, but that's how you really interject and incorporate that intonation into your English. Once you have done that, at least 20-minute, 30-minute, 40-minute exercise, which is great, congratulations, you're investing in yourself. You're gonna do the same thing you had already done with the same text. You're gonna read it again, film it again, and compare the two videos. See how you improve. Of course, it's not gonna be overnight, but if you do that, let's say 3 times, you're gonna see a lot of improvement. You can be sure, because step 1 for improving your intonation is being aware that you need to improve your intonation. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and ask us for whatever content you would feel is interesting for you. Thank you, Pat, for the request, and see you guys next time in the next video. Bye bye.